Ghostbusters is a comedy. Okay, did not think that. I guess it's a giant marshmallow. That does make sense, actually. Generic intro into that goes movie here, back with another nostalgic review, and today we are doing Ghostbusters, which is a video that he dropped 7 days ago. It's probably closer to a week and a half by the time this video is going live, but Ghostbusters is a franchise that I know a lot of people love and care about. I think I've seen like clips of the first one. I haven't seen any other clips. I know there was like a giant marshmallow man at one point, and they gotta like cross the beams or combine the beams or something, and that's as far as my Ghostbusters knowledge goes. But you can check my reaction last video, which was Demolition Man, which is a really old nostalgic video that had a ton of copyright issues. The video was actually delayed because of all the copyright issues. You can check out my reaction to that. I'll leave it right up there. Also, link down below in the description. Also, in a place on my channel with all my other nostalgic critic reactions. Go to chronological order, binge watch you all of those. But I know a lot of people love about Ghostbusters. Some people are probably not going to be surprised that I haven't seen Ghostbusters. I don't know how many Ghostbusters movies there are. I know a couple years ago they did like, didn't they do one like Amy Schumer or something like that, and like an all-female cast? I'm not sure what that one was called or not, but I know it's an old movie, way ahead of my time, or way before my time, not ahead. But Demolition Man, that movie was, wow, that video aged, or that movie in general just aged really, really well, and that was 9 years ago it aged well. It aged even better since then. But I do read all your comments, so leave them down below. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope I can make it just tiny little bit better. I do read all your comments, and shout out to the patrons, because I couldn't do this if it was not for them. But let's go ahead and jump into Ghostbusters by Nostalgia Critic. All right.
Hey folks, we're going to be in Cleveland, Ohio for the
well,
Cleveland
that
Games
is
Classic.
tomorrow,
Hope to
because
see
it is currently 12:47 at night on September 19th. Wow, that was quick. But yeah, no, I haven't really seen Ghostbusters. I guess it's just the first one. So that's a crazy color scheme. A bright blue wall with the
meeting
red
102
paintings.
of the Foreign Film Exchange Club begins. This is Nostalgia Critic from Earth.
This is Hannah from the Blick Galaxy.
This is Manny from Planet Weird Ass Name 5. And just a reminder, if you tell anyone alien life exists, we will cut off your reproductive organs with a...
Yes, we know the joke.
Okay.
Now, Hannah, I was particularly impressed with your cinematic selection. Colors don't exist because they have no smell. I was especially surprised when the blah turned out to be a boop. It really changed the way I look at relationships.
Well, I was equally impressed with Manny's suggestion, nanoots on a plane.
Agreed. The
wait,
symbolism could be a little on the nose, I think.
You'd be surprised how many people think it's just about Zorka-Mort castration.
And your selections, Nostalgia Critic, were also excellent.
Which were?
Godfather, Casablanca,
Haven't seen.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Haven't seen any of
The
those.
last one, a little dated.
Dated 2001.
We also
Well,
enjoyed your classic comedies like the works of Charlie Chaplin and Mel Brooks.
Tell me,
Oh.
did Monty Python ever show his face on screen?
I haven't seen Monty Python.
No,
I understand. The prejudice against reptiles must have been great.
However,
because
there
it's
is one choice on your
Python?
list that we did not understand. The comedy Ghostbusters.
Is that comedy?
really? A lot of people see that as a classic.
So you've said, but where Blazing Saddles called out prejudice,
I know Blazing
Life of
Saddles.
Brian addressed religious misinterpretations, and Modern Times satirized industrial America, Ghostbusters fights a Yugoslavian fashion model in bubble wrap with extremely illegal and dangerous technology.
Well, when you put it like that,
What?
it sounds even more awesome.
Am I right this masterpiece
what year?
of cinema also had a Saturday morning cartoon?
2. That's how I got into it.
You
Wait,
don't
really?
believe that nostalgia influences your favoritism?
No.
I'm sure a little bit, but
It might.
Apologies. While this movie is fine, we don't see it as a masterpiece.
look, it's kind of hard to explain why this movie works.
Isn't that your job?
That's true. That's what this video
It
is
can be
about.
explained, it's just tricky.
Hopefully I don't have to blur anything.
So
Copyright,
tricky.
because the last
We're
video.
never able to duplicate it again.
Wait, really? But they tried, right? There's multiple Ghostbusters movies, right?
Describe Ghostbusters before as lightning in a bottle, and seeing how they've tried for years to unsuccessfully duplicate it,
Oh.
I think that's still accurate. Every sequel and reboot they've
Ghostbusters
tried
2,
to do has had
Ghostbusters
some sort of
After- what
backlash
in
or
the world?
resistance.
Who are
I
those?
actually kind of liked Afterlife, but even that
When did-
divided a lot of audiences. And to some extent, I can see why. Ghostbusters mixes a bunch of different genres and tones that normally
Which
wouldn't
are
go
what?
together, but surprisingly works so well it's equally entertaining to both
Yeah, I know
adults
like
and kids.
my Ghostbusters knowledge
said, I
is
found out about
Cross the
Ghostbusters
Beams
in
and a
the
giant
cartoon, but
marshmallow
spin-off,
man.
Most of
That's
us can
it.
agree was a decent follow-up. So when I discovered there's a version where they smoke, swear, and get blowjobs, I
What?
was in 80s PG heaven.
What?
I'll admit, I can never look at it the same way audiences who first saw it looked at it. Stay Puft will
Yeah,
never be
there's-
as funny to me as when audiences first saw it on the big screen because I was too used to him as a cartoon character. Hell, I
well.
had the toy before I even knew there was a big screen version of him.
So I'm guessing the show came out after the movies?
It's hard to imagine watching it
right?
today with someone who's never even heard of it.
I've heard of it.
One has to admit it is weird seeing a movie where 4 slackers charge electric lassos to hunt snot bubbles while their clients bang and turn into dogs. It's required cinematic
Dogs?
viewing.
What?
So, on its 40th anniversary, I want to go back and see if this
40th
film
anniversary?
does hold the same comedic
Yeah, no,
weight
this
it
is
did
way
when
old.
it first
Wait a
came
minute, that
out.
was the 80s.
Separate myself
Oh,
from
no.
the sugar-coated franchise, a lot of us associate with it and look at it as a standalone flick. Is it still a unique experience where several mismatched elements surprisingly produce a one-of-a-kind masterpiece?
Oh,
Or
okay.
is it just an extended Saturday morning cartoon?
There's
with
so many like replicas
Which I
of
would
the
also be
cars
fine
that people
with.
have made.
So, if y'all can entertain yourselves while I go talk about a question that has a clear answer, but I think is a lot of fun to talk about.
No problem. We'll watch one of your Earth shows.
Yes,
Earth
the
shows, which
television
one?
drama you call Spin City.
Well,
Spin City.
Not really a drama, it's given the past 8 years, maybe it is. Let's take
I
a look
don't-
at Ghostbusters.
I don't know what Spin City is.
The film opens with a lion.
Why is that a line? Is this foreshadowing for something? New York Public Library?
While the songs do rightfully so get a lot of praise, the Elmer Bernstein score is fantastic, making the theremins sound equally humorous and creepy at the same time.
Oh. Oh?
That's one of the great tone combos of the movie, being goofy and over the top, but also a little unsettling. They really make you feel like you're with this librarian, and because they mix different types of effects, it isn't all just CG.
And those are all
You
practical
feel
effects.
the same claustrophobic panic she does after seeing something like this.
Fair. I'd be running a little bit faster. That is... Isn't that like Jack Nicklaus? Is that his name? Not the golfer, right? But he's from... Is that The Shining?
Christ, how can you not get jazzed up after seeing that intro?
That was a good intro.
Introduced to a
Not a
college
generic
doctor
intro at
of
all.
parapsychology. And yes, I was shocked to find that is an actual term. Named Peter Venkman, played by Bill Murray. His character is made clear not just by his
I can't see him in
performance,
anything
but by
other
his
than
vandalized
Stripes.
office, his need to torture innocents, and hitting on students. Yeah, this movie's kind of like Animal House meets Poltergeist. I don't think we're entirely supposed to like these people.
You can keep the $5 I've had it. I will, mister.
Oh,
He's also cheap.
$5?
I know inflation and everything, but somehow $5 is always just $5 in any time period.
This
True.
is it. This is definitely it.
He's approached by Dr. Ray Stantz, played by Dan Aykroyd, who tells him about the
Oh,
Ghostbusters
doesn't
library
he has a
where
vodka, right?
Dr. Egon Spengler, played by Harold Ramis.
Oh,
Deaf.
I don't know if that would make you deaf.
Quietly. Let's not rush things. We don't even know what you have yet.
No wonder this became an animated series. Not only is every person they encounter a Marx Brothers antagonist, but the three of them basically already look like cartoons. Even if I think they mixed up Peter and Ray's character models.
You know, he doesn't
Why is
look
it
a
flashing?
thing like me.
What?
I question the librarian before they visit the location.
That's fair.
Are you habitually using drugs,
Who-
stimulants, alcohol? Are you, Alice, menstruating right now?
I suppose this is as good a time as any to talk about how some of the main leads, particularly Peter, are sometimes seen as too unlikable. Yes, you could toss part of this up to as a different time, but
Okay,
I'm
that's
a bit
just,
more
they're all
beyond.
just staring.
They
That's-
do shitty stuff, and that's where the comedy comes from. But not only are we supposed to see deep down they are good guys,
Weren't there
are
like 4 of them?
consequences to their shitty acts.
Aren't there 4
Peter
Ghostbusters?
hits too hard on Dana Barrett, so she tosses him out. It's not until he finally starts to come through with what he was hired for and slows down that she starts to like him. They didn't test this dangerous equipment or get okayed from anyone, so they
It's fine.
question about it. And when they act like assholes, turning the questioner away, the questioner becomes an asshole and the city turns to chaos.
Sounds about
And
right.
they make it work because, again, deep down, they are good guys.
Okay, yeah,
who
there is a fourth one.
actually do
Okay.
the right thing. But they would have gotten there easier with a lot of these problems being avoided if they acted smarter. But that's not funny. And
Yeah.
this is a comedy. And these three are
actually-
fun to watch. Make
Ghostbusters
asses
is
of
a comedy.
themselves.
Okay, did not think that.
Apparition, and it's real.
And apparently,
I guess it's a giant marshmallow. That does make sense, actually.
Where are you from? Originally.
Things get shushed by
the scene is
ghosts.
great build-up. Again, trying to make it a little creepy adds a little believability to what's ultimately a pretty unbelievable scenario.
Oh. That's fair.
The Ghostbusters.
They sold that pretty
everybody.
well. They were scared by a ghost.
Yeah, I love the people hired to get rid of ghosts are legitimately terrified of ghosts.
I trust you're moving.
Maybe
us to
they
better
didn't
quarters
expect to
after-
actually
No, you are being moved off.
deal with ghosts.
When the three of them are tossed out of university for, like I said, being non-productive a-holes, leading to one of my favorite lines.
You've never been out of college. You don't know what it's like out there. They expect results.
That's not
Oh.
true. Some people make a very good living producing nothing of value. Peter sees it
And
as
then
a
there's me.
business opportunity.
Even
By the way,
nothing.
why do we
Even
want
more
that? It
nothingness.
almost turns into a musical here.
Ray, call it fate, call it luck, call it karma.
The musical?
We're gonna make it big. Now let's get some
Oh.
shawarma. I know I've told the story a million times, but I don't care. I'm gonna tell it again. When I first saw this as a kid, I asked what they were drinking. My dad didn't want to say alcohol, so he said it was the magic Ghostbuster juice that turns them into Ghostbusters. And I'll be damned if that doesn't check out, because they suddenly start
How
talking
young was he?
smarter, and then they're off to get the
Oh.
firehouse.
This ecto-containment system that Spengler and I
That
have
was
designed is
so
gonna require a lot
clever.
of Brad to capitalize.
You're never gonna regret this, Ray.
I'm telling you, man,
Oh.
it weirdly tracks.
Yeah, no, that's
I
actually
also
kind
like
of
the way to
nuts.
show they have no money is Egon's calculator gets smaller, which nowadays would actually mean they have more money.
Wiring is substandard, it's completely inadequate for our power needs, and the neighborhood is like a demilitarized zone.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So, all of New York in 1984.
Oh, really?
We're
Wait,
introduced
is
to
it
Dana
better or
Barrett,
worse than
played by
now?
Sigourney Weaver, who often tries to slip past her nerdy neighbor Lewis, played by Rick Moranis, who, much like many of the actors, improvised a fair amount of his lines.
How you doing? Why don't you
He
have something
improvised.
free? It's at room temperature. I taped 20-minute workout on my machine and played it back at high speed, so it only took 10 minutes. I got a great workout. I'm giving this whole thing as a promotional expense. That's why I invited clients instead of friends.
This character doesn't
Clients.
get enough love. Or maybe sometimes he gets too much. This weirdo seems obsessed with him.
Wait, is that the angry video game nerd?
After seeing the boys ad on
Great
TV, I love Egon looking for his mark. We get a bit of a feature cameo.
Stay puft.
Remember when Easter eggs
Oh, those
just
the actual
foreshadow
things?
The future, not just remind you of the past. And speaking of eggs, they start cooking on the counter, and a mysterious sound is heard from the fridge.
Why would you open the fridge?
You're out of mayo.
I don't know if I have
Whip if
mayonnaise.
you don't mind.
I don't know if I have mayonnaise in my
Secretary
fridge.
named Janine, played by Annie Potts. Our heroes are approached by Miss Barrett with her ghost problem, which I don't know, this place might also be haunted. Their cokes pretend to be Diet Cokes. And she explains
what?
her situation.
Past life experience intruding on present time.
Could be erased memories stored in the collective unconscious. I wouldn't rule out clairvoyance or telepathic contact either.
Or,
Jesus.
you know, it could be ghosts. Mm-hmm. Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. Peter goes to check out the apartment, and even while
Almost like they want nothing to do with
dances
ghosts.
and talking canines in her icebox, Weaver still plays this as straight as warning the whaling company of a universal threat.
There were creatures writhing around, and they were growling and snarling, and there were flames.
Also,
and I
what is
heard
that
voice say
organization?
"Duel."
Well, that just happens
the
when you
fridge.
leave Taco Bell in the fridge too long.
Oh god, what was
But when
people?
the
Somebody
Peter
probably got a
was
Taco
open,
Bell
the
ad there
bombastic
actually.
Flirting gets him kicked out. This scene is still done really awkwardly.
No,
I've got it.
no.
Wait, what?
I'll prove myself to you.
It's not necessary.
All right, movie. If you don't want us indicating anything creepy, maybe don't make a scene indicating something creepy.
Okay.
I'll solve your little problem.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, this scene's weird. Your weird scene.
We
Wait.
got one!
So
You're
what would you
real
say?
excited.
50, maybe 60 minutes in? We're not even a half hour in yet, and they're already taking their first job.
oh, okay.
This movie
Missing
is
Ghost,
so
they got the
damn
outfits.
tight at getting information to you through both verbal and visual storytelling, as well
They
as
don't make
both
movies like
obvious
this.
and subtle gestures getting across character. With so many franchise movies having ridiculous running times, it is so impressive this movie is only an hour 40 long, and it feels like you got the same amount of info from a 2.5 hour movie.
Wow.
It wastes no time.
Going up.
I'll take the next one.
That's fair.
They
Yeah.
called about a ghostly disturbance while putting together. They've never successfully tested this equipment.
That's fine. Also smoking indoors because that used to be a thing.
We thought you were someone else.
We thought you were Paul Feig.
I don't know who that is.
They discover a party animal ghost named Slimer, who I've mentioned before, is said to be the spirit of John Belushi. Who
Wait,
gives them a
what?
run for their money,
Who's
but
that?
they corner him in a dining hall.
Don't cross the streams. All life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
They're saying this now with no
Yeah,
protection?
yeah, they definitely should have said that
God,
to begin with.
Peck is right!
True.
But you know, they just aim those nuclear warheads away from each other and end up catching the ghost.
Cool.
He got featured
Slimer.
and made up prices on the spot.
4 big ones, $4,000.
I had no idea it'd be so much I won't pay it.
But we
Huh?
would like a brandy.
What would
No,
okay?
ghosts
You
always
get the
popping up
ghost
all over
back.
the place, making them a sensation. This leads to one of the more famous moments, for better or worse, of Ray having a dream about getting a BJ.
Oh. Oh.
And yes, the lyrics busted makes me feel good. We're supposed to play at that moment, but we're cut out.
Oh, why were they cut out? Be too the
Rita
rating.
said the idea was Egon
My-
and Peter both got love interests, so wouldn't it be funny if Ray's was a woman who's been dead for years? As an
That's
entire
rough,
backstory
buddy.
was created involving an old historical fort and everything. The scene was too long, though, as well as maybe a few other things while watching this. So they turned into a pointless dream sequence.
Nice.
And yeah, it's not needed, but it is kind of worth it just to hear Dan Aykroyd say it was based on real paranormal activity. I hope this dude never discovers reality, because this shit is great.
Big question on everybody's mind. How is Elvis? And have you seen him lately?
Elvis.
With a celebrity
what year did Elvis die?
Every day, they put out an ad for extra help, and an impressive one person applied.
Only one?
Winston Zedmore, played by Ernie Hudson.
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections?
Well, UFOs don't exist
telepathy?
because they're not identified, and they're no longer unidentified.
I'll believe anything you say.
This is the only part of the movie I have a major problem with. Winston should have been brought in earlier. I heard originally Eddie Murphy was supposed to be one of the four, and maybe he was supposed to play that part, though I don't know. It's possible maybe he was supposed to be more the Peter role than the Winston role. I could be wrong, though. Either way, Winston is supposed to be the everyman who either goes with the flow or constantly tries to distance himself.
I want to make a phone call. I just worked with these guys, and I wasn't even there.
I love these three together.
Who stacked those books?
You could argue the audience reaction is kind of the everyman reaction these three need. But I'm constantly wondering how many of these moments would have been made even funnier if Winston was there reacting to their insanity. Being the voice
especially like seeing the ghost in the library.
I think that shows by the fact that, while sure, he has some funny lines, he also has some of the best moments in the film.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. We had the tools, we had the talent. I love this town!
I don't know what he was covered in.
Performance, I don't know if these moments would be as good.
Dr. Beckman, this is a surprise.
Peter meets up with Dana, reveals Zool is the minion of a demonic force named Gozer. And as I hinted at before, I kind of get it. There's morons out there who don't follow social cues and keep hitting on a person who's clearly not interested. You don't want to encourage that. But look at these two. They're both clearly into each other at this point.
At this point.
Of course it helps they surround her with nothing but schmuck, so he looks better by comparison.
So who the hell is that?
I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you, sir, and I'm glad you're feeling much better. You're still very pale, though.
Let me look at my unorthodox scale. We are at
most unorthodox. Wow.
Hey folks,
Batman.
Arkham City every Friday on Twitch. We also got content 5 days a week. Hope to see you there.
Nuts.
Also, everybody says they never get notified about our latest video, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get all the
YouTube might think I said something else, a word that they hate.
Liam Atherton plays a representative from the
speaking
Environmental
is
Protection
difficult.
Agency.
It's also 1 a.m.
Even his introduction sounds perfectly snobby. I mean, this role should so easily be boring in one note, but he masterfully makes him both charming and a prick at the same time.
Hey, please. See the storage facility, Mr. Pick.
And he says there's a lot of concerns about their equipment having hazardous results.
That's all life as you know it stopping
That's valid.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And when he asks to take a closer look at their establishment, he's thrown out.
Either show me what is down there, or I come back with a court order.
You go get a court order, and I'll sue your ass for wrongful prosecution.
Or at the very least, I'll have kids across America constantly call you dickless.
What?
Something this poor actor had to put up with for a while.
I don't know.
I have to go. I have a date.
Meanwhile,
with who?
Dana gets ready for a date, as it is a beautiful painting outside. When the movie goes from funny Pac-Man ghost to borderline Freddy Krueger territory.
Oh no. Kids, parents.
Has similar issues next door as he throws a party.
You think it's too warm in here for the brie?
Louis, I'm going home.
Oh.
What if I sing Suddenly Seymour?
Oh, that effect.
I know I bash the overuse of CG in movies, but admittedly,
in the 80s,
it kinda helps smooth out some of these keying lines.
Yeah. Oh, they can't see it? Oh, well, anyway.
This moment brought to you by New York. They know.
What is the Lancia?
They just don't care.
Santoro?
I do love the irony that these two neighbors are possessed so that they can immediately find each other across the hall, but somehow they end up miles away from each other, so they literally ask everyone if they're the person they're looking for.
Are you the keymaster?
Yeah.
He's sure.
He quickly puts together that something is up, and in a funny twist,
obviously,
she comes on to him and he pushes her away.
Makes sense.
I want you inside me.
Go ahead. No,
Go ahead. No,
like at least 2 people in there already.
Again, I feel like if this was just a I got a score character, he would take her up on this. Honestly, I feel like a lot
American
of
Pie
might have gone that direction.
What is that?
But instead, he tries to save her, and I guess Weaver said she wanted a role that was a bit more playful and fun compared to what she was getting at the time. And you can tell
what was she getting at the time?
Clearly having a ball with
she was an alien, right? She's turning into a dog? Oh no, she's floating.
Zoom, motherfucker! Oh wait, that's literally what this is.
I just whacked her up with about 300 cc's of Thorazine. She's gonna take a little nap now.
There's been jokes about Peter giving her Thorazine, like, what the hell is he doing bringing that on a date?
That's
and while those jokes are funny, again, some people, I think, take this too literally.
Yeah.
My guess is they just needed a joke about how much it takes to knock out a creature so powerful. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was improvised.
He's just floating.
But for the sake of argument, let's take it literally. The place is ransacked. Like, Peter was looking for something to calm her down. So you could argue he found a prescription she had.
That's possible.
And wondering what kind of doctor would prescribe her Thorazine? She saw a dog.
Is that an actual thing?
What would you give her?
True.
What did you say your name was?
Vince Clortho, Keymaster of Gozer.
Lewis is possessed as well, calling himself the Keymaster, looking for the Gatekeeper. As
and
things,
she's
maybe all
the
these
gatekeeper.
And popping up have apocalyptic overtones.
Ray, has it ever occurred to you that maybe the reason we've been so busy lately is because the dead have been rising from the grave?
If so, I would love to know who these people were before they died.
Well, I mean, you already saw Librarian.
Returns, though, demanding the place be shut down as he
Why
has
does he have a
court order
briefcase?
to do so.
I think there's
you
just
could
been
just
a
walk in
slight
with that.
misunderstanding, and I want to cooperate in any way that I can.
I love how Peter instantly folds. He does that a lot in the face of adversity.
They shut something down.
The containment unit is turned off, releasing all the ghosts, making
that's
this
gonna be bad.
really angry.
Why is he snarling?
They're arrested as
how many ghosts have they caught?
The city to the song Magic, which, by the way, you really have to search for on the soundtrack, as half the song is something completely different.
Which is what? Magic 5 seconds. What? Oh.
Where did that come from? And our heroes figure out the building was designed to summon the forces of the evil Gozer.
Intended to bring about the end of the world, and now it looks like it may actually happen.
It's an election year, though. We're used to hearing that.
Fair enough.
Carl Winslow takes him
So
to the
what-
mayor, and I like now Peck folds
What
and makes up
building
stories
was it?
when he sees rushing in might have been the wrong thing to do.
They use sense-and-nerve gases to induce hallucination. Power grid was shut off by Dickless here.
Is this true?
Yes, it's.
Is that where you get the name from?
Dick.
That's true. Meanwhile, the gatekeeper and the keymaster open doors.
Oh, yeah,
Sides with the
okay.
Ghostbusters and allows them to take on evil. But evil's, you know, pretty
Got
bad.
hands, yeah. That's probably a practical effect.
In hindsight, you had lightning and you went with earthquake.
Fair.
That's like having a gun, but you went with quicksand. What's clearly better?
Also, was the brakes not on that car? Actually, probably drum
On,
brakes.
and they rush on in to the stairs.
Whew.
When we get to 20, tell me. I'm gonna throw up.
Why are SNL members going up buildings always the funniest part?
SNL members? What? Was he in Saturday Night Live?
Dana and Lewis are transformed into dogs as Our Lady of the Triforce opens up to finally reveal Gozer.
It's Gozer. I thought Gozer was a man. It's whatever it wants to be.
Fair enough.
Whoa! I now hate all this. Why don't you call it Go Woke, Go Broke Busters?
Or whatever it is, it's gotta get by us.
We get a nice callback to their first ghost encounter.
Which is the library?
Get her. Go get her, Ray.
What?
Gozer Captain EOs their asses when Ray answers no to being a god.
Oh, don't fall
When
off that.
someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Fair enough.
Oh, you read the Influencer's Handbook.
Choose the form of the destructor.
What building is that?
Though certainly swimming in 80s. Yeah, what 6000 BC creature has flat tops? Gozer is a pretty cool villain. Much like Sauron, doesn't need to be seen that much
Sauron,
to
yeah.
leave a dreadful presence.
Whatever we think of. If we think of J. Edgar Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover will appear.
That's a
and destroy
random
us.
thing to come up with.
J. Edgar Hoover has come.
Oh, hi.
Ray thinks back to his childhood.
And he thinks
of
of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
named Stay Puft who can't possibly hurt them. But he's naturally proven wrong.
Stay Puft like an actual marshmallow thing?
Again, as someone who grew up with the cartoon, I can't guess what it must have been like for an audience to see this is the antagonist at the end and how funny it must have been.
A giant marshmallow man.
Of the show, it was pretty amazing to see some really
And they like cross the
spectacular
beams, don't
effects
they?
dedicated to this creature.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
And I have to point out in a past video, I showed off how this effect was a little clumsy because you can see through the leg. But one comment
Wait.
said, of course
Oh,
you
you
can
can.
see through it. He's a ghost.
Oh, true.
Shut me the hell
Yeah,
up.
no, that's valid.
We'll cross the streams.
They say
Yeah, cross the streams
might
or just
reverse
combine
the door
them?
to the ghost world, so they cross them as peeingly as possible. I hope I'm the first one to make up that word. And it seems to
Peeingly?
work, blowing up Gozer and the Marshmallow Man.
Oh.
I love too William Atherton asked if getting all this marshmallow dumped on
Oh,
him
that's
was gonna
marshmallow?
hurt, and the crew just said, oh. Even in real
Wait.
life, Peck brings up good points. As a kid, I'm on the Ghostbusters side, but as an
But
adult,
that's the actual
it's the
actor getting
asshole
that
that makes more
poured on
sense.
him? Might have been just like foam, like shaving cream or something.
Everyone else is covered as well, except for Peter, who has romantic lead armor. And they bust Dana and Lewis out of their burnt dog shells.
Who are you guys?
We're the Ghostbusters.
Who does your taxes?
Nobody, but he can be your lawyer in the future.
Does he?
So
is he?
Credits roll, we find Gozer is destroyed, the city is saved, Peter and Dana share this incredibly awkward
Yeah, that's
kiss.
real awkward. She hesitated, which was
This
good
guy,
acting there.
And
Okay,
they ride off into the slime set.
And then there's Slimer.
I'm off to Minions, the cartoon!
Oh no. Slimer, the real Ghostbusters?
Years later, that was Ghostbusters. And sure,
Does he cover the other ones, or no?
This is just a simple comedy adventure designed to sell toys, but its unique premise, memorable characters, extremely
Also, this was
quotable
PG, or was
lines,
it
and mixing in
PG-13?
several different tones
With the
does
things
make
that
it stand
happened.
out. It's similar to watching an anime. You know, the ones where a bunch
Oh,
of
Fullmetal
hearts and
Alchemist,
wavy
let's go.
lines go by 1 second, but then out of nowhere some really heavy shit suddenly hits.
Oh
This does that.
no.
Okay, maybe not much with drama, but certainly
Yeah,
with
that's good anime.
sci-fi, horror, family entertainment, grown-up entertainment, subtle wordplay, but also over-the-top special effects, and of course, comedy. Somehow it manages to balance all of these perfectly and master every single one of those categories.
I guess that's why it's
not
such
really story about people
has such a
discovering
following
amazing
still to this
things
day, and why
about
they tried
themselves or
to redo
changing
it so many
greatly.
times.
It's a story about people having a passion for something and showing the struggles and rewards of working towards achieving it. It's kind
So
of
what
like
happens?
a Disney film.
Did they
thing.
make a sequel
Some
or
see
just a
Ariel as
remake?
not very complex, but others see someone who knows what she wants,
I haven't
despite everyone
seen
saying she can't
My-
get it.
My
and
Little
uses her
Mermaid.
drive and dedication
The
to
Little
achieve her
Mermaid.
dream. A lot of people recognize the value in that, despite her being flawed, and I think people can see
Isn't the
same
actual story of
value
Little
here
Mermaid, like,
despite these characters
terrifying?
being flawed. They screw up.
Like
they
the
do
actual
wrong
story,
things, and
not the
many
Disney
times
story?
It blows up in their faces, but they are still taking a chance on themselves, despite nobody else having faith in them. It's a story we see all
In
the
each
time
other
in
as
kids'
well.
media, but it's also a story we see all the time in adult media, which is perhaps why it speaks so well to both. I know it's not classic to everyone, but to kids looking to connect to adulthood and adults looking to connect to childhood, this is an imaginative, one-of-a-kind
hot
comedy
dogs.
that's just as relatable and smart as it is bizarre and hilarious.
And now we have
so
the meeting.
I think I know how to explain why this film is so good.
Not now.
No.
We just watched Earth's greatest masterpiece.
Which is what?
Citizen Kane, the Seventh Seal?
No, Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Oh.
I never understood the meaning of Christmas until I saw this epic.
What?
Really?
Christmas.
The symbolic struggles, the layers of commentary, the way he answered the mysteries of the pyramids.
In the room?
What?
You are so
Did they see?
fortunate
They
to live on a planet that has a film that scientifically proves what happens after death.
I
The
was
Room?
moved to tears.
In the room. Tommy Wiseau's
The Room.
Oh, yes, don't you know? Tommy Wiseau is one of us.
That
But
makes
don't
sense,
ask
actually.
Specifically, what galaxy he's from. That's still a little vague.
Is he from the
And
Room
he
Galaxy?
made the greatest film you've ever seen.
Maybe it doesn't translate well into English.
But in the weird-ass Name 5 dialect, it's absolutely stunning.
Huh. Well, it certainly explains a lot, but it also raises a lot more questions.
Yeah, well,
I'm the nostalgia critic, and
Yeah.
I think I have another language to learn.
Yeah.
Welcome
And then he's gonna
to
watch.
learning weird ass name 5-ish. Lesson
And then we'll go
1.
watch The Room.
Hello.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a whole lot involved there.
Why did I throw that? That's my fault.
I taped a 20-minute workout on my machine and played it back at high speed, so it only took 10 minutes. I got a great workout.
Oh Lord.
This month for cameos for charity, we're doing the
Raiden
Raiden
Science.
Science Foundation. This is
Raiden.
actually inspired by a convention I'm going to this month, who are raising money for this organization.
Cleveland Gaming Classic.
They're overcoming
That's Ohio.
traditional research barriers to advance treatment for UBA5 disorder.
I don't know
a
what that is.
debilitating and ultra-rare genetic
Ultra
disease.
rare?
In order to do
Genetic.
so, they're
Oh.
pushing forward with medical breakthroughs, such as gene therapy, to help children all around the world who are suffering from this disorder. And ultimately other rare diseases.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
so
fair.
if you want a cameo,
I
from me
highly
saying
recommend it.
happy
I've gotten
birthday,
2 cameos
congrats,
from
good
Doug.
luck or whatever, consider getting one from
Would
me. and
highly
give it to a
recommend
great
getting
cause.
one,
If you're
especially
like,
since it
nah,
goes to
screw you, you're
charity.
the worst. Well, consider giving to this organization anyway. Give them a look and see the amazing cause you could be helping out with.
Huh. So that was Ghostbusters, huh? Oh man, it is 11:15 in the morning, and also Rookie of the Year. Now that is, doesn't he like? Is that the story where the kid, like, his grandfather was like the owner of the Cubs or something, and like he became a player for the Cubs? Or am I thinking of something else? Or like something happens to his father and he like becomes the owner and then he becomes a player or something like that. I think I've seen that movie. I've seen clips of that movie at least. But yeah, Rookie of the Year. That doesn't have... No, I'm thinking of a different one. The one that has Charlie Sheen as the pitcher. That's a different one. But this was Ghostbusters. Huh. Yeah, there's only 3 in that thumbnail. That's kind of nutty. I don't know how many movies they made. Apparently they made a cartoon as well. But yeah, apparently they made several other movies. And I don't think a single of those movies had quite the appeal of the original Ghostbusters, which... I didn't know it was actually comedy, but now the more I think about it, the more I think, hey, what also has, Bill Murray? That makes sense, actually. Does Bill Murray do anything other than comedy stuff? Like I said, I can only see him in Stripes. Like, that's, like, when I think of Bill Murray, I think of Stripes, which I don't know if any of you even know the movie Stripes. I imagine it's pretty popular, but whenever I made references to it in the past, nobody got the references. So, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it made daytime better. I look forward to your comments, but until next video, take care, and keep the music.
We're playing